Good morning and welcome to this week's Breath Library session. So we weren't here last week because we had an event that we were running here at Beam, which was all about sound healing. You might have seen a couple of clips posted on the socials, which sort of gave you a little bit of an insight into what happened. In that event, we had meditation. We looked at breath work that was all revolving around sound and how we make sound with our breath and what those exercises do. And we also had an incredible sound healing experience with, we had the amazing Dave O'Brien. He was delivering a session using gongs, and there were so many. He had singing bowls, and he also had like toning forks. It was wonderful. The next one of those that's going to happen is going to be in February next year. We run them every quarter, but that is going to be wonderful if you can come along to that in-person event. That'll be in Cardiff, South Wales, and it was a wonderful way to start off the weekend. So to everyone that came, thank you for coming. We will recap a little bit on the exercises that we actually did, just around breath work, not anything else, because there was a lot to cover. And then we'll get into the session. So some of the we'll just go through a couple of the exercises that we did, because it was all focused on making sound with our breath and what that can do for us when we're doing those exercises. So the first one we looked at was ocean sounding breath, or ujjayi breath. And that is where you make a sound like the ocean with your breath on both the inhale and the exhale. And we do this by constricting the glottis, or those muscles around the throat. And what it does is some incredible things in the upper airways. If before I go into that, to make that sound, because it was in such a big hall, so we did get everyone breathing like the ocean. But if you're unsure what I mean by when you need to constrict your glottis or your throat, it is to really simplify that. You know, when you if you were to mist up a mirror or a window to draw a little picture or something, or leave a note, it's if you imagine having your phone and going so it's that action with your throat, but what we want to do is do that with our mouths closed. So actually it sounds a little bit more like this. I'll come just a little bit closer, just in case you couldn't hear it. So I'll be getting really close to the camera and microphone. So here it is just again. So hopefully you all heard that. And that is ocean sounding breath. And when we do that, not only we're breathing through our nose, we're restricting that airflow. It's a great practice. But what it does in the throat area, the upper airwaves, it vibrates the cells around the throat, the trachea, esophagus, and the vocal cords. And what this does is it protects us against inflammation. So we are not only are we training those muscles that help us restrict the air that we're breathing, but it also supports all the other functions in the upper airways as well. And this breath is called ocean sounding breath, or ujjayi breath. And it's a really relaxing one to do. But because we're focusing on the nose, we're also breathing in. We're getting that nasal nitric oxide, breathing it down. And I was a little bit hunched over then when I was doing it. But if we can sit up nice and straight, stand or lay, and we're keeping all of this area free, so we're able to take a good breath in. So nice ocean sounding breath. So peaceful. You don't need to do it for very long, just a few minutes. And do that as often as you can throughout the day. No one will even know that you're doing it. So that was one of the exercises that we covered that includes sound in our breath. And that sound element is really important because that's what we that's the element that proves that we're adding that restriction, that sort of element of training to the breath. So the other breath that we did was, we covered quite a few, but the other one was humming. And this is quite obvious because you make a sound when you're breathing. So I haven't come across anyone that can't hum yet. I've done this with hundreds of people, and no one has told me they cannot hum yet. So if you are someone that can't hum, I'm not sure what we'd do to solve that. But if we can, there are lots of other ways that we can replicate similar things to humming as well. So that might be singing, or if that ever comes up, we'll discuss that. But so humming, well, what we're going to do is just for a couple of breaths, we'll just do some humming. So get nice and straight, and we'll take that breath in through the nose. And when we hum, we're going to try and make that exhale for as long as we possibly can. And breathing in through the nose always. And just relax into it. Don't force anything. So breathing in through the nose. And that is just a quick taster of humming. And I feel like everyone knows how to hum, but when we hum, we're adding that sound to our breath, and that is what last week was focused on. So we, we're adding that sound to our breath actually does something quite magical, something quite amazing. When we hum, not only are we focusing on breathing through our nose, which is something that I do go on quite a bit about, but when we're breathing in through our nose, what we're doing is when we're humming, we are creating something called nasal nitric oxide. And this is quite magical because this is an anti-inflammatory. It was coined a miracle molecule because when we create this gas in our nasal cavity and we breathe it down, it acts as a vaso and bronchodilator, which means that we open up the possibilities for taking more oxygen into the bloodstream. And when we hum, we increase that nasal nitric oxide production by 15 times, which is quite outstanding. So when we are breathing and humming, we are making sure that we're only breathing through our nose. So anything that is pulled there on that breath in, we're breathing it down and we're getting a better gas exchange. So we are filling our body with the oxygen that it needs. We're fueling our brain, organs, tissues, everywhere that needs it. So humming is an extremely powerful exercise, and it's fun to do. I've never met anyone who was sad when they were humming. So give it a go. There have been studies that have shown that just 5 minutes of humming is enough to lower heart rate, improve heart rate variability. It increases that nasal nitric oxide, so we're breathing better, and we are inducing something called parasympathetic dominance, which means that we are telling our body that we're in a rest and digest state. So a great exercise to do. It was all around sound, like the ocean sounding breath. And that was the bit of a theme at the Sound Healing Sanctuary. So that is what we covered during that. And we did some more exercises as well, but we'll just stick to doing those two because they were quite popular and well received. And now we're actually going to have a look at this session. So this session is a very quick lesson on how to prepare yourself for digestion. And quite often we are busy, especially at lunch. We might be at work, you might have had to run off into town to get a sandwich, and then you're eating it on the way back to the office, or you're sort of having a bit of a munch when it comes to food whilst you're driving, all things that I do not recommend. But what we're doing is it's not a focused exercise. Digestion should be a time that we are focused on that consumption, because we need to let our body know that we are ready to receive it. And and if we are stressed or anxious or in a rush or panicked or whatever it is whilst we're eating, our body's not ready for it. So we're consuming all that food, but our body's not processing it in the most efficient way. It is still processing it, but we can process it much better if the body knows that we are ready to have that meal. So we can do that with our breath, and we can do that in less than a minute. So, if we're sat down and, you might only have 10, 15 minutes for lunch, but all you need to do by preparing it with the breath is close your mouth. You can close your eyes as well. You can even pay gratitude for the food that you're about to eat, whatever it is. Just spend that time and you can be grateful. But the focus here is on the breath. So what we'll do is always through the nose, closing our mouth, and we'll take a breath in through the nose and out. And we're making sure that exhale is longer than the inhale. And breathe in and out. When that exhale is longer than the inhale, we are triggering the parasympathetic. So let's take another breath in through the nose and out. When we do this exercise, and we can do this, between 30 seconds and a minute, our body will know that we are safe. We are not in any perceived danger. We are in what the autonomic nervous system, we're in the parasympathetic. So we are in that rest and digest. And see, it is, that state that the body is in is the rest and digest is such a clue in the name. So when we do that and we have that, that short period of time where we control our breath, we are changing our physiological state. So we are ready for food. We're ready for rest. But in this case, when we're talking about, preparing to eat, we are getting our body and letting it know that this is the right time to eat. So the other exercise that I'd like to cover is if, when it comes to digestion, okay, so you didn't do any of that, and actually you've eaten a lot, and it might be that you've made it to the toilet and you've been there for a while. It's not flowing naturally as it should. We'll spare all the details in case people are tucking into breakfast or any meals right now. But when it comes to helping the lower part of our intestines move, then we can do things with our breath to help our movements become a little bit easier if you were sat on the loo and you've been there for a while, and it could be a little bit of a strain. It could feel like, to put it politely, you're a little bit blocked, maybe a little bit bunged up. So this exercise will help move that along. And what we'll do is we'll be breathing in, we'll be taking a breath, and we're going to be focused on filling our abdomen. And we're going to sort of inflate it like a balloon, because we're going to create a lower abdominal massage. And this helps. These exercises are tried and tested. So this is something that aids that movement at that time where you need to help, complete that cycle of eating. So what we'll do is we'll take a breath in. So if you imagine that we are on the toilet, there is a very good reason why I didn't do this actually in the bathroom, but yeah, we're sat on a chair. So what we'll do first is we'll just take our heels off the floor. Very important, because when we do that, we raise our legs. And, the height of toilets all vary, but quite often, it depends how long your legs are, but they might be tipping down or angling sort of down towards the floor. So what we want to do is we want to just raise our heels off the floor so we are on our sort of toes. And when we do this, we actually, we slightly rotate the pelvis. So what we're doing is we are, there's less pressure. This makes this area of our lower spine, our lower abdomen, more relaxed. So now we have prepared our body in the right position. Some people have a tiny stool in the bathroom, so you could just put your feet up there. It all changes the position. But what we want to do is make sure that our legs are parallel with the floor. Okay, so once we've got in that position and we're still waiting for something to pass, then we'll breathe in through the nose slowly, so we fill up that abdomen like a balloon. So we'll breathe in, and the first breath is just to get in the state. So we'll breathe in and then slowly out. We're calming the body at the same time when we're doing this. But on the next breath, we breathe in slowly and controlled, filling the abdomen. And then when we get up there, we want to take in just a little bit more. So sip in through the mouth. And then we're just going to hold it for a minute. And now we've created that pressure, that abdominal pressure. So the first thing that we can do is, it's fine because no one else is in the bathroom whilst you do this. So we can raise our arms above just whilst we're holding our breath, and then just move slowly down to the left. And then down to the right. You can do this a little bit quicker so you don't have to hold your breath for so long, and then just exhale through the nose. And then on the next breath in, so breathe in, we're going to fill up that abdomen like the balloon again. Sip in through the air, and then I'm going to reach down forward. What we're doing, and then we'll move over to the side, and we can keep doing that. And what we're going to do when we're doing that, now breathe out, is we are massaging those lower intestines. So it helps create that movement. So this is an exercise that you can practice when you're not necessarily in that situation. So, when everything is free flowing, give that a go and just see how that actually changes in the moment. It's a very useful exercise if you struggle with digestion and completing that process, then it is a great one to do. Okay, so that is just a couple of exercises that you can do to improve digestion and, and helping food pass through you as well. So the breath is such a useful tool. That is it for today. If you'd like to find out more of how you can help or how you can improve your breath all around function. So if you're having any problems, whether that is digestion, you're stressed, anxious, asthma, snoring, or you would like to improve your breath when it comes to working out and exercise, these are all things that I can help with. And I hold appointments for one-on-one, so personal, very individual. It's tailored to you exactly. We'll test your breathing ability and we'll put in place exercises and programs for you to improve that. There is a link, well, there will be at the end of this call, a link in the comments. So you'll be able to book a free 30 minutes with me, can have a chat, see if we're a good fit, and we can take it from there. And we can discuss everything that will be required. And there is no obligation. That 30 minutes is all to see if we can use the breath to help what is going on in your life right now. Okay, so there are always lots of announcements. And if you're interested, go on to beamtraining.co.uk and you can sign up and be updated about any events that we have going on. Quite often there is in-person events, meditation, and always lots of things going on to, that you can come along to virtually or in person that will bring joy into your life. So check that out. All the links will be in the comments. So this goes out live every Saturday on YouTube and Facebook. But next week we won't be live on YouTube. I'm away, but we'll still be live on Facebook. There will be a very quick Breath Library session next Saturday morning, and it might be a slightly different time just to fit around my schedule. But we're here every week to bring that exercises to help you, given any substance. So thank you very much for coming along. If you have any questions, reach out to me or message us at Beam, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.